All right, good morning. We're back on the 280Z. The paint has had plenty of time to dry overnight, so we're gonna go ahead and throw the seam sealer on, give that another day, and then we're gonna top coat that with one final coat of our epoxy primer. So 2 coats are on already and dry. We're gonna do the seam sealer on all of the seams in the engine bay and firewall forward area, and then we're gonna throw one final coat of epoxy primer on top of the seam sealer once that has cured overnight as well. And then we'll get busy with the next part of the process. Alright, so after we cleaned and used our wax and grease remover on our bare metal, we gave that, you're supposed to let that dry for at least 60 minutes. We gave that much more than 60 minutes. We gave it about 2 or 3 hours to let all of that wax and grease remover evaporate, even from the crevices in between the pinched body panels and everything like that. We came in and did our tack cloth and blew everything off with compressed air, tack clothed again, and then we put 2 coats of wet on wet epoxy primer in between everything and all over, upside down and around, and we gave that 24 hours to dry after the 2 coats, usually about 15 to 30 minutes in between each coat, giving it just enough time to flash off or tack up is what they call it. So now that 24-hour timeline has elapsed, we put our 3M Fast and Firm seam sealer on all of the seams. The bottle says that you can basically paint over it as soon as it skims over, which depends on temperature and humidity, but usually occurs within 30 to 45 minutes. As soon as the surface is a little tacky and it has skimmed, then you're ready to paint. That's good enough for collision repair work and in a high production work environment. That's not what we're doing here. We're doing more of a restoration type stuff. So I like to let products completely cure before I throw more products on top of it. And I always top coat my seam sealer. So I've got one more coat of epoxy primer to put over everything, and then we're gonna get busy with the rest of the products we're gonna put on, which will be Raptor liner on the outside and under fender area, and then we're gonna do a jet black base coat on the inside along with a clear coat on the inside as well. So I gotta get busy mixing up some more paint, and then we're gonna do one final coat on top of our seam sealer that we have given 24 hours to dry. So clean, fresh, bare metal, wax and grease remover, gave us 3 hours to evaporate. Tack cloth, first coat of epoxy primer, gave that 15 to 30 minutes tack time or flash off time. Put another coat, so we're second coat of epoxy primer on, and then gave that 24 hours to dry. Came in the next morning, put our 3M Fast and Firm seam sealer on top of that, gave that 24 hours to dry, and now we're on like day 4, I think it is, and we're gonna do one final coat of epoxy primer on top of that, and then we're gonna move on. As always, click that thumbs up button. If you got any questions, leave a comment below. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing and turn your bell notifications on. That way you get notified just as soon as I post another video. I appreciate it as always. And until next time, thanks for watching this video.